7 FM, Out of the Woods. Out of the Woods is your only true live local station on 102.7, and we've got John Gordon right in front of us here. How you going, John?
Peter, I'm very well, thank you. A little bit cold outside, but nice and warm in here.
Our special guest for tonight, you've come all the way from Brisbane. Where do you draw a lot of your inspiration for your songs from?
Sometimes I get a social justice hiccup like I did with this song, Australia Whore of the World. It's got me into a little bit of, controversy, but yeah, look, I'm just happy to let the muse take me. And
in particular, for that song, the message is clearly conveyed, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. I for Australia Whore of the World, like I say, I just occasionally get these social justice sort of things well up in me, and actually I was just brought to mind, I'm from the little town of Alra, and I wrote, I think my first protest song really was back in 1996 when Alra got amalgamated into the big and deadly Warwick, and I wrote a song called the Alra Song. So that's the little cousin to Australia Whore of the World, and Australia Whore of the World came up last year, and it was another thing I felt strongly about, that Australia just was doing the wrong thing by its coal exports and basically prostituting itself with its mining. Yeah.
Yes. It's a sort of shame, do you think, in that way, and like it's turning into a colonial quarry?
I just find it really perverse that on one hand we're talking about lowering our carbon footprint domestically in Australia, and at the same time the governments, like for instance the Queensland government, it's quite disgraceful. I'm almost ashamed to be Australian that they are just ramping up, like in some feeding frenzy, coal exports. You've got blokes like these oligarchs like Nathan Tinkler and Clive Palmer's. I mean, they're almost out of cartoons, these guys, and they're making billions of dollars and heating up the planet. I just think it's aided and abetted by our governments, and I'm not happy with it, and I wrote a song, and I'm determined to make a bit of a change.
When did you decide that this issue needed to be written about? Did you decide it a couple of years ago, or?
No, look, it probably started welling as they do. I mean, I've written songs for, say, East Timor. I've written a song about, I do work in Aboriginal Australia, I think, and West Papua is very close to my heart. I've written a song about that. So the social justice ones are a slow burn, and I just remember a couple of years thinking, well, this coal situation, this is before it sort of became fashionable, and I guess it's still not fashionable, but I just found the coal exports thing just bizarre to me. It just didn't make sense, and I've sort of got this sort of fairly Winnie the Pooh nature that probably doesn't get too analytical and just sees these things for what they are and writes about them.
Yeah, not meant to be complex. I suppose that's what obfuscates it, doesn't it?
That's right. Yeah. This is a simple matter to me, and I just find it really perverse, where we're literally sending hundreds of millions of tonnes and sort of in denial about it. The whole Australian psyche doesn't like to talk about it, and yet this stuff's going to get burnt, and it's. I think it's time Australia sort of faced up to its responsibilities. I really do. I think we have a history of denial a little bit in our psyche, and we need to move on and get a little bit more mature about who we are and stand on our own 2 feet. And as someone was saying to me tonight, we have to use our brains a little bit instead of being lazy and just quarrying the place.
John, for those listeners who've just turn on to this interview, we're talking to John Gordon, who's come all the way from Brisbane, originally from Alra.
Originally from Alra, yeah.
And his song...